Before we begin, I just want to thank you for the support. We're close to 4,000 subscribers, and every one of you keeps this channel alive. If these stories speak to you, please consider subscribing and let me know your thoughts in the comments. It truly means a lot. My wife actually smiled when I asked if she was seeing someone else. It wasn't a nervous smile or a guilty one. It was smug, almost rehearsed, like she thought she'd already calculated every move I might make. She leaned back, arms crossed, waiting for me to flinch. What she didn't know was that I wasn't asking for answers. I was giving her one last chance to tell the truth before I showed her what I had in my pocket, the thing that would erase that confidence instantly. In that moment, I realized she believed she was untouchable. If I hadn't trusted my gut weeks earlier, I would have never uncovered the truth she worked so hard to hide from me forever. We met in the kind of way that makes you believe timing matters. She was warm, open, and easy to be around, the type of woman who made silence feel comfortable instead of awkward. Back then, she leaned into me when she talked, touched my arm without thinking, and laughed like she couldn't imagine a future that didn't have me in it. I supported her when she went back to school, picked up extra shifts so she could chase the career she said would change everything, and never questioned the sacrifices because I believed we were building something real. For a long time, it felt like we were. But slowly, almost too slowly to notice, the woman who once met me halfway began pulling away inch by inch. Her eyes drifted, her hug shortened. Her reasons for being gone stretched into excuses. If you told me then what she'd eventually do, I would have laughed. I had no idea how far she'd drifted, or how far she'd fall. The first changes were small enough to ignore. She started keeping her phone face down, brushing it away whenever I walked by. Then came the sudden girls' nights, the ones she never mentioned until an hour before leaving. Our conversations shortened into fragments, and her hugs felt colder, like she was already halfway out the door. She claimed work needed her more lately, leaving early and coming home long after she should have been exhausted. I didn't want to be the kind of man who policed her freedom, so I kept talking myself out of suspicion. But the signs kept stacking up, perfume that wasn't hers lingering on her clothes, cash withdrawals she couldn't explain, a new password on her phone she pretended not to remember. Something felt off. Too many coincidences. Too many little lies wrapped in fake laughter that no longer reached her eyes. I told myself I'd trust her, but trust without truth becomes blindness. And deep down, I felt a quiet warning growing inside me, a voice I kept trying to silence because I feared what it might reveal. The truth cracked open on a random Thursday afternoon. I came home early after a meeting was canceled, expecting an empty house, but her car wasn't in the driveway. I almost didn't think twice until I noticed it parked 2 blocks away, tucked behind a row of hedges like she didn't want anyone to see it. A cold heaviness settled in my chest, but my hands stayed steady as I walked inside. The house was silent. I checked our shared bank account to distract myself, and that's when I saw an unfamiliar charge from a boutique hotel across town. One tap led to another, and suddenly I was staring at messages she thought she'd hidden, intimate words, plans, inside jokes that weren't mine. My heartbeat didn't race. It slowed, almost painfully calm. When she finally came home, her voice tightened the second she saw my expression. She tried to laugh it off, saying I was being dramatic, acting like she still held the upper hand. That was the contrast that told me everything. She believed I was emotional, predictable, easy to manipulate, but I didn't argue. I didn't demand answers. I simply started paying attention. And that moment changed everything for me. The moment I realized what she'd been hiding, something in me shifted. I stopped reacting and started analyzing. I cross-checked the timestamps of her messages with her supposed work hours, and nothing lined up. I pulled our phone records, traced unfamiliar numbers, and recovered deleted threads she thought were gone for good. Then I dug into her GPS history and cloud backups, and the entire picture unfolded in front of me. Months of meetings, secret lunches, and hotel visits. And the man wasn't some stranger. It was someone I'd shaken hands with more than once. Reading their conversations was its own kind of quiet betrayal. She mocked me, called me boring, said she felt bored at home, like loyalty was some kind of burden. But instead of confronting her, I built a plan. I ended the lease in my name, separated our finances, secured every document she could weaponize, and reached out to the man's wife, who deserved the truth as much as I did. The more I learned, the calmer I became, because I knew exactly how this would end. Every detail I uncovered only strengthened my resolve, turning what once felt like heartbreak into something far sharper for me. I brought it up the same way I teased in the beginning, calm, almost casual. I asked if there was anything she wanted to tell me, anything she might need to get off her chest. And just like before, she smiled. That same confident, dismissive smirk, the one that said she thought she still understood me. She shook her head, acting like I was grasping at shadows. That's when I took out my phone and opened the folder I'd prepared. The messages, the pictures, the timestamps, every detail she thought she'd buried. Her expression cracked instantly, confidence drained into panic, that practiced smile collapsing as her hand started to shake. She stumbled through excuses, stress, loneliness, confusion, rewriting history like it might save her. She cried, reached for me, tried to negotiate her way back into the life she walked out of, but I stayed steady. I told her the lease was ending, the accounts were separated, and her affair partner's wife already knew everything. The woman who mocked me an hour earlier was now begging me to stay, realizing too late that the game she played had finally turned on her. He moves out, gets his own place, and embraces the peace that comes from solitude and honesty. The silence feels strange at first, but it's a clean kind of quiet, one that doesn't hide anything sharp beneath it. I won't lie, there are moments when the hurt still catches me off guard, but every day away from her feels like a step back toward myself. I've learned that love doesn't require blindness and respect doesn't survive betrayal. Her smile didn't break me. It revealed who she really was and reminded me who I needed to become. And if you've ever been betrayed, you're not alone. You deserve better than someone who smiles when they hurt you. Keep your strength close at heart